Okay, guys. So in this video, we're going to talk about what type of data needs to be recorded in terms of the business environment. So as we know, one of the first types of information that needs to be recorded is information about the staff that is currently working in the company. Now, some companies will also keep a record of staff members that have came and left for a certain period of time in case of references. Now, in terms of employee information, they will ensure that the specific information is recorded, like a person's name, surname, and ID number. But a much more elaborate system is also put in place to ensure that every employee can come to work and work comfortably in an environment. For example, they would ask you to maybe divulge your medical history, just in case there's something that might affect the way you work at a company. Now, in saying that, a company's database will be quite large depending on the size of the company, and the information they will be recording can change depending on the type of company. Now, some of the examples I'm giving you now is more or less the standard information that all companies would try to keep records of. So let's look at it. We'll come to finance. Obviously, every company will keep records of their finance. At the end of the day, they want to know how much of money is coming in versus how much of money is going out. And by doing this, this allows companies to budget and plan or forecast for the next year and to see, do we have enough money to maybe extend our staff base, or do we have enough money to maybe try to increase our business, maybe increase the marketing budget so we can get the name out there, to ensure that our books are in order in terms of taxation, and etc., etc. Another type of information they would record is obviously the stock control, ensuring that all the staff have the necessary resources that they would need to be productive in their workplace. They will also have certain inventories kept separately. Like, for example, they might have an inventory just for furniture and certain fixed items. Then obviously they might have an inventory, for example, your consumable goods, which are your pens, pencils, stationery, that type of things, as well as the IT department having an inventory on the software licenses to ensure that they keep track, and if licenses need to be bought, they can process this in advance. So some of the other records a company will keep is in terms of events. Now, when I say events, has there been any accidents in the workplace? What caused the accidents? Is the company following the occupational health and safety ruling to ensure that all the staff are safe? Or has there been any injuries? How have the staff been injured? What type of injury was it? The recovery time, as well as compliance and non-compliance documents. Now, when I say compliance and non-compliance documents, I mean, how is the staff's performance? Has there been a sense of degrading when it comes to ethics? Has there been bad behavior? Has the staff not been completely performing the duties as they expected it to be? Now, I mentioned quite a few things in this situation, but as you're going through your notes, you're going to see there's some examples and activities there for you to complete that will help you to understand what we are discussing here. As you can see, it's very important to gather the right information. Now, there is a term you're going to come across, and I'm sure you've heard this in maybe movies, or some people have said it already: information overload. Now, what that means is you can have a large amount of data. It doesn't necessarily mean that all the data that you've collected is important. Now, if you can remember when you were in school and you had to write a speech, or when you had to do a project, well, as I said in the previous video, I'm kind of old, so we had to go to the library, we had to photocopy, we had to gather information, and from there, we had to then come to our conclusion. Now, for the more modern part of it, we use YouTube, we use Facebook, we use Google, we go online and we search for information, and sometimes we gather a lot of information, and sometimes the information is too much for us to be using. So we have to then go through that information, sift through it, and ensure that we pull out the information that pertains to us and that information is important. The reason we do this is to ensure that our systems are always up to date, and the information that we have is always linked to productivity and linked to importance. That is why we have list of priorities, where certain information will be classified as do not see, do not view. For example, payslips, it's individual. by the company standards and by law, you're not allowed to divulge your payslip to just anybody. You can't just go around and show your payslip to anybody because that is private information. We've got a few more videos left, so I hope you are still with me. If I'm going too fast, guys, please, by all means, leave a comment. Ensure that you press the like button and you click on the notifications. So as we go through this process, you will be up to date and you'll know as new content is released. Cool. I'll see you in the next one.